Here's a quick example on how I can use activities to help me manage sales opportunities that occur. Right now I'm just looking at my email, and as I read through this I see that this is a potential opportunity that I'll begin working with other teammates on. So I'm going to slide out my sidebar and I'm going to create a new activity. Now I could have dragged this in and created the activity that way, but what I want you to be aware of is the second line down there that says IBM Sales Opportunity Management Activity. This is a template that I created to help me track and manage the sales progression of sales opportunities and sales activities. And I'll illustrate that with some examples in just a second. So if you notice now in the sidebar, 5 different artifacts have been created automatically. So just by clicking on that template, I now have 5 artifacts associated with this opportunity that I'm creating. The first is the key account data, and essentially what that is a template that I'm going to put in contact information, key strategies, what's their operating system, are they using some of our products, do they use competitive products. The other artifact is the customer contacts. So I can go into tools like OnTarget. I can cut and paste the contact information from OnTarget here so that any new members that join this opportunity as it progresses can have one common view of all the contacts. A lot of times other people want to know just the status. I just need 5 or 6 quick bullets of what's the current opportunity status. So I created a template for that too. And then the other is maybe more detailed, and this will grow as the opportunity gets more developed, but the opportunity name, the Siebel number, the decision date, just different ways of looking at how you're going to describe the opportunity to both team members and external team members. Now down here I have some special templates or entry templates that I created. Meeting minutes, prospecting, contact lists. All of these are custom made and associated with this activity, and I just want to show you a couple of examples. So if I'm prospecting, what's the call week? How many calls did I make? This one is one that we learned that we got from the BVA team, and this is the 9-point win plan template. So I just made it into a simple little form that can be reused. So the opportunity owner, the business initiative, what's the community. Again, these are just certain examples that are associated with this activity. Another one that will get more importance as we get closer to closing this is the extreme qualification template that's used by our sales team in Americas. So again, these are the criteria for that. Customer, is the win plan ready? What's the plan close date? Is there a challenge offer? Who's the executive sponsor? Who's the IBM executive owner? So those are key critical pieces of information that we want to be able to provide. So I simply just created it as a template and associated this every time I create an activity using this template. So why don't we get started? I'll go back to that original email, and what I'm going to do is that's an artifact that I need, so I'm going to drag that into my opportunity section. And what you'll notice now is that gets added as yet another artifact to that opportunity. So now I have some kind of real tangible data that I can start using and sharing. So rather than emailing it to people, I'm just going to put it in the activity so as new team members come into this activity, they can see it. But I have to take action on this email. So one of the things I really like is that I can right mouse click on any artifact and add it to do. So now you can have a very action focused approach to manage your activities. So what I need to do is I need to set up a meeting at VCU and start an initial discussion. So I want to track that as an to-do inside of this activity. So it's great for keeping score. As someone new comes into the team, they can see what's being done, who's doing it, without having to send emails back and forth or phone calls back and forth. So when I save that, now you'll notice that that to-do is associated with that artifact. But you know what? There's something else I need to do too. So also associated with that, and I'm kind of brainstorming as I go through this, but I got to reach out to the Liberate team. So again, I'm going to be reaching out to external team members for help on this opportunity. So again, I'll give myself a due date for this. I'm going to assign it to myself. And again, I could put additional notes in here, but for the sake of demonstration, I'll just keep this kind of simple for right now. So as I move back over now, I have all these artifacts in these sections. And one of the things I really like is if you just want to look at what your to-dos are, there's a display that just summarizes all your to-dos. So I have two to-dos that I have to perform in the next couple of days. I can also have a section view, and I can also have a recently updated view. So it just depends on how you want to look at the information that's associated with this opportunity. Okay, you know what? I might have to create another section because there's going to be a lot of emails that are going to be going back and forth. So anyone that are really important, I want to capture those emails in the activity so that people can get the context of what's going on when they get added to this activity as a team member. So now I have three folders or three sections. Again, I'm going to add one more section because you know what? I'm sure we're going to be capturing a lot of information in the various meetings that we have both internally and externally. So I'm going to have a meeting section, or kind of like a meeting folder, and that's where I'll store all my meeting minutes. So if I have, in fact, why don't I create one now? So let's say that we had the meeting with our client. So again, I just pull like a tear sheet, and I'm just going to fill in this and update this meeting minute with the details that I captured from that meeting. So I'm going to put it in the meeting section. You know, the date of the meeting was the 20th. And again, all this is just a simple template that I can go through. We held it on site. You know, I was the one that called the meeting. And then I'm just going to use some, shorthand just to make this go a little bit faster. But here's what the agenda was. You know, did we have a presenter? No, so let's just get rid of that part. You know, what was the discussion? And again, I'm just going to use some shorthand here and just say I'm going to summarize that information. What were the conclusions? What are the next steps? Who are the action owners? And who are the dates? Now remember, I'm just capturing this information. I could be doing this while I'm on the plane. I could be doing this while I'm disconnected. But the idea is I'm just capturing this very, very quickly. So again, I only have one action owner. So remember, that's not a to-do. That's just the action and owners that we captured in the meeting. So again, now you notice that there's my meeting, and oh, you know what? I've got to add a to-do associated with that. So one of the outcomes from this meeting is I need to develop a proposal. So let me again assign another to-do. So now I've got 3 to-dos associated with this opportunity. I'm not sending any emails. I'm not, none of that stuff. All I have to do really is just create the to-do and assign that to someone. Now again, if I had more members in this activity, I could be able to assign it to other folks. That way, anybody who comes into the activity can see what are the to-dos, who's doing them, and what the status of those are. And again, I just want to illustrate that by clicking on the to-do display. Now you can see that I have 3 to-dos associated with it. So the thing I really like about activities is that I can take a really action-based focus on my opportunities and kind of keep checking off my to-dos as I complete those. And again, just another sample of what some of this information might look like as this deal progresses. And this was just a template for the opportunity status. As this thing starts to develop, we might want to share that information. Okay, another thing I just wanted to illustrate is on my team we have a specific way that we forecast, and it came out as an email, and our team leader said, this is the way. Okay, so wrapping that up. The other thing I'll show you in just a second, I'll save that. Just real quick, as this opportunity starts to grow, I'm going to be reaching out to other team members. So again, this is just an example of how I can add members. So rather than send an email or anything like that, I just add the members to this. I can also make this publicly available, right? So again, I can create this as an